know better than anybody else that you are responsible for those decisions. Despite the fact that the situation in which you are born is not your control. You are a child of circumstances and environments and society and religion and geography and so many things. Yet, overwhelmed by these factors, first thing in the morning when you make a decision, you know you are responsible. And if you are punished, you know that punishment would be justified. And if you do an act of goodness, then you want a reward from somebody. So all these factors which apparently make you helpless still cannot take away the responsibility of your decisions. This is what the Holy Quran wants us to believe. So no enigma. And you'll be surprised to learn, he said, yes, I understand now and my question is solved. So sometimes philosophically you try to make somebody understand some things and they don't. Put them in the simple facts, translate it into simple facts of life and they immediately begin to see light. So although everything is Allah's doing, Allah's gift to man or any creature of His, everything is from Allah. But He has so beautifully designed it that He has given us the free will at the same time. And these things coexist. Yes, please.
Inshallah, when Ahmadiyyat would get dominance, both spiritual and temporal, in the world, what would be the concept of the combination of spiritual and temporal authority in the institution of Khilafat?
Khilafat will never stand for taking the government in her own hand. This is decided, absolutely no doubt about it.
Yes, sir.
So Khilafat will look after the moral aspects, like in the Muslim empires, various empires. Spiritual responsibility was actually divided between the king, who was called a Khalifa, but he was not the spiritual head, and the spiritual authority rested at the same time with some Sufis, some Mujaddideen, some Qutb, Ghaus and things.
Yes.
So they ran parallel. Sometimes the temporal clashed with the spiritual and exercised cruelty. But that may happen again. As far as the Khilafat is concerned, it will just look after the spiritual and moral and religious aspects and will not take governments directly in her own hand. But now, as long as the Khilafat has very great influence and exercises real power on the hearts, the kings and emperors will tremble before the Khalifas for any faults they commit, because directly or indirectly they will consider themselves to be answerable, because at the one raising of a finger, little finger by the Khalifa, the people will force such people to rectify themselves. So that apparent helplessness of a Khalifa is no helplessness. It is the greatest power that can be exercised on earth without the involvements and the bad points of involvements of power into power.
This would be unlike our Khilafat-e-Rashida when it was combined.
I said, no. It all came so suddenly, the government,
Yes.
and it had to be, because Hazrat Masih Maud has explained this phenomena, and Hazrat Muslim Maud also has discussed it in detail, that the Sharia requires temporal power as well, because it has to be established. And there are laws and regulations which cannot be established fully and demonstrated without power. So this is why a prophet who is Sahib Sharia, that is the lawbringer, he is given also some temporal power to see to it that his laws are exercised in the best traditions. But those who are not law bringers, they don't have to demonstrate that exactly as in the first place it was necessary. So that is why it was there, that's like this.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
The first question is also about somebody. Excuse me.
Yes.
Somebody asked a question earlier about having a joint meeting also with the Muslims and the Christians. But this one is different in that sometimes there may be an association of Muslims and the Christians, whereby maybe for a community, probably for a community. So the chairman of the association, when they want to hold a meeting, sometimes he will ask a Christian member of the association to lead a silent prayer for opening the meeting. And sometimes he may ask a Muslim member to lead the prayer. So in this case, should the Muslims remain sitting while the Christians pray in their own way? Because at the end of the prayer they will say in the name of Jesus.
Do they pray loudly and it is supposed to be a joint prayer?
Yeah, they used to pray loudly, and in the end they will add the name Jesus. They will say in the name of Allah.
You can't join them there.
Then should the Muslim remain sitting while they are praying? Because sometimes they will say, "Oh, look at the Muslims; they are not. They are making distinction."
So what will Allah say if you don't?
Pardon, sir?
You have to make a choice between your God and His creatures.
No, what I'm just trying to find out is that...
what I'm trying to convey to you is this, that you have no choice in this matter. If you please your fellow being, you displease Allah.
No, we should please Allah.
Pardon?
We should please Allah.
Okay, then you know the answer already.
And we want to bring them into Islam.
Yes, but not by displeasing Allah. I mean, this is a contradiction in itself. You want to bring them into Islam to please Allah or displease Him?
No, we want to please Allah and bring them into
So,
Islam.
how can you bring anybody into Islam by displeasing Allah?
What about if...
Be sensible about things, that is all. You tell them first, don't go into such a situation unless you have forewarned them that this is a compulsion, helplessness, a situation of helplessness for us. You believe in one God, in this God in which we believe. So if you follow us, there is no harm, no compromise on your part with your religion. But if we follow you in your prayer, then there is a compromise. We have to make a compromise of our religion. It's not possible for us. Make them understand things, and they are sensible people, they will understand.
Yes, sir. And do we also realize in order to respect the...
I have already explained things to you. Do it in the light of this answer. Either don't go to such a session or tell them beforehand and make your position clear to them.
Number 2 question, sir.
Yes, please.
With regards to Prophet Adam alayhi salam,
Prophet Adam alayhi salam? Yes.
That all the angels, they bow down. So the word sajda is used there.
Huh?
The word sajda is used there.
Submission.
Yes, submission.
Submission to... In fact, there is one very significant part of the verse which refers to that sajda, which is not given proper consideration by people who find themselves, wondering about the true meaning of this verse. What bothers them is the word sajda, because this is used so often in relation to man's